Now, I said I wasn't going to do an October deer chores, but here we are. I can't help it. There's still stuff to be done. We live a busy life. There's always something that can be done in October. And let's go through this list really quick. There are things that you should do still. And one of them is stand setups, last minute stand setups. There are stand setups that we're going to do, and I know we'll be working on them early October, that are off to the side. They're not in some of our core areas. And always consider the 3-week rule. And what I mean by that is bucks have a window of forgiveness of about 3 weeks. If you're not going to push those bucks to your neighbors, if you're not going to push the deer neighbors that are, maybe you're surrounded by gun hunters and they're not hunting until November sometime. Maybe you don't have the habitat to hold deer. Maybe you have really thick cover, fall food sources, more like corn, brassica, where those deer are going to be on your property in November. We still have lots of time to get in there and get a stand set up, and you're not really, no harm, no foul. Always think about that 3-week window of forgiveness. If you're not hunting during that 3 weeks, if you're not spooking those deer to your neighbors, if you're not blowing out your best time of the year of habitat, meaning right now, then by all means, put a stand location in and get it done. There's a lot still to do. Trail cam's ready. It's pretty interesting. There's trail cameras out there that don't last long on batteries. We have good reveal cameras, and we consistently run those on video. We put them mostly on mock scrapes. We're not putting in a bait pile where we get video after video after video. We're not getting 100 video clips a day. We're getting 10, 15. But what it helps us do is identify bucks over a long period of time. And we find that it takes 3 to 5 months, even running on video, for those batteries to wear out. And those are AA lithiums. You do get a lot more with AA lithiums. And so that's typically what we run during the hunting season. So we find if we're changing our batteries in and around when we're first hunting, end of September, October, especially on some of our exterior cameras, then we're getting those to last for the season or the majority of the season. That's a really good thing. So don't forget about doing that. And it's kind of like, right here with keeping our water holes full. We're filling those end of September, October in a 300-gallon tank. Deer go through about 100 gallons a month. You get a little bit of rainfall. That means a 150-gallon tank is done in 7 weeks, 6 weeks if it's dry. But a 300-gallon tank is still half full. And deer can still get down and get into it. It's big enough they can step into it. The bottom line is you can fill a 300-gallon water hole late September, October, and you're good for the rest of the season, because it's going to be good till it freezes. And if you get a little bit of rain, then it stays full. They're full in the spring too. You can rake them out in the spring, get debris out. But bottom line is that size tank we found to be the perfect size. I've used 100 gallons. I used 27 and a half in the back in the day, 55-gallon drums cut in half. And then we graduated to 110, 150s, and then we have all 300s now because we just don't want it. They're full right now. In fact, Wes was filling a couple right now as we shoot this video, our last ones to fill, and then we'll be set for the year. Number 4, last shot of rye. And I'm not talking the whiskey. I'm talking about annual rye, winter rye, fall rye, not rye grass. I'm talking about rye grain. This is a chance to salvage your food plots that didn't do anything. You're going to keep getting more and more rain as we get into the fall. So a great time to throw it down. Now, if you're in extreme northern location, UP of Michigan, northern Wisconsin, North Dakota, upstate New York, where it's super cold, then throw that rye down heavy, 300 pounds per acre, early October, because this is the last shot you get. You don't want to wait till middle of October in those locations. Where in other portions, when you're in West Virginia, Kentucky, you could probably throw 200 pounds down in early October, get a bunch of rain, you're going to have a nice thick stand of rye, because you're not going to get ultimate growth and height. You want volume more horizontally, so you spread heavier amounts the further north you go. But that's your last shot. Typically not spreading rye in November unless you're in extreme south, Louisiana, Georgia, somewhere in those extreme southern climates where you'll actually get good growing conditions. And rye will grow the best. People ask about wheat. Rye grows and germinates when the temperatures are colder than wheat. It'll grow in poor conditions of pH and soil fertility. So the real go-to is annual rye. Wheat's not a bad one to go to. They'll both stay green all winter long and provide deer a much needed nutrition in the spring before any other spring green up takes place. It'll be green all winter long, so it's a really good shot. Then number 5, the ultimate time to throw pollinator down if you're in the north half of the country, north third of the country, is late September, October. A lot of those pollinator seed varieties need to go through an entire winter of stratification. So if you're planting in the spring, it's going to be until the following year for some of those plants, forbs and forages and flowers, to actually bloom and take shape. So by getting those in early October, you're taking it to chemically controlled ground, meaning we're taking bare soil into the wintertime. All weeds have been killed. They're always going to come back. By May next year, June next year, there'll be lots of weeds. The bottom line is you're giving yourself a chance. You can get that pollinator on the ground on bare soil and let it take off. The cool thing about switchgrass this time of year, after Labor Day in more northern sections, after October 1st, if you get down into southern Illinois, Kentucky, West Virginia, maybe even over into New Jersey. The bottom line is, you could wait a little bit longer there because you don't want to get a late germination. But once you pass that time where the soil temperatures are 56, 57 degrees with moisture for extended periods of time, then you can get that switchgrass on the ground. You can still give it a shot of simazine before spring green up. You can give it another shot of 2,4-D and glyphosate. You can't do this with a pollinator because you'll start to get some germination. But you can get another great shot of glyphosate and 2,4-D when you get spring green up. And in that way, you can get a great catch by throwing switchgrass down now. You're just basically frost seeding early with the switchgrass. But this is the time to put pollinator on the ground and get great growth. We have both at Pure Wildlife Blends. Urge you to check it out, purewildlifeblends.com. You can look at it through the site. Pure Wildlife Blends, easy to find. We have links in the description. But October, there's still some stuff to be done, whether it's cameras, tree stands, some last minute food plots, getting some great pollinator, switchgrass planted. We have a lot out here because we like helping the birds, butterflies, bees, pheasants, nesting turkeys, rabbits, and oh, by the way, deer. So get these chores done. There's always something to do. And who knows, maybe we'll have November deer chores. I think we pretty much settle it down by November, but there's December. We get right back into it. So you get a little break there, but there's a lot to be done. I hope you're on track like we are and can enjoy the entire hunting season. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. You're our best followers. You followed all the way to the end of the video. Really invite you to check out our website. We have our earthway spreaders for sale, great Christmas presents. We're booking clients right now, all 5 of us. So by the end of December, it seems early, but by the end of December, our schedule will be booked for 2025. It's hard to believe. I'm already booked for December and most of January, February. We have our web classes, the rut web class, how to design your whitetail property, and really important, hunting hills and thermals, understanding the wind. Those are great products on our site, all the books. Thank you so much for watching all the videos, buying the seed that you did this year. Really appreciate you.